Um, I think Australia's navigated the slowdown post-mining incredibly well, as we've seen tourism and education pick up and fill the gap. Um, and I think right now we're reasonably well positioned. I mean, we've grown out of a number of the excesses that we've had. You know, you've got negative real wage rates, and so we've not had this big drawdown. But where we are right now, when growth is, below trend, and we've got inflation materially below trend, and we have nothing that I can see as an impetus to change that around. So, so from that point of view, I think that we need lower rates in Australia. And because one, there is the question, well, what does lower rates give us?
Mm,
Well, I would argue, well, lower rates give us some kind of impetus to growth, but also gives us a weaker currency.
mm,
And it's quite clear there's a currency war going on, and everyone else is racing to the bottom. And unless we join that, we're going to end up with a stronger currency, which will be detrimental on our economy. The second thing about Australia, which does worry me, though, is our positioning within the US and China, where we rely on China for so much of our GDP via exports, but we rely on the US from our strategic partnerships. And there comes a point when you've seen the US kind of, or you've seen this situation play out in Canada, where China is now now hurting them for their starts, and the Huawei
mm,
executive where they detained, and you've seen money just leaving Canada, no new money coming in. The Vancouver housing market is falling, and they make an example of Canada. And so I worry about the fact that, given our alliance with the US and how close we're aligned, that sometime we're asked to pick sides. And if we are asked to pick sides, well, I assume we'll be picking with the US, but I don't know how that's going to work out. But ultimately, it would have to be negative for GDP growth.
mm.
So right now, I think we're in a decent situation. The economy needs a bit of a pickup, and interest rate cuts will most probably help. But I do worry about the medium-term structural position we're in as an economy, because we've ridden this positioning between having one foot in the east and one foot in the west for a long time, and it's worked to our advantage. But I worry about the fact it won't going forward.